Hello there, good evening. It's a delight to come your way tonight. I'm Kameni Amano, and this is Ghana Tonight. Let's take a look at our top stories. National Cathedral project manager is cleared of any wrongdoing, but chair of the project says the stalled project will resume soon. Also tonight, organized labor is unfazed as government to go back to the drawing board and put an end to illegal and unethical mining. I'll explain. And we bring you the latest on the reoccupied Jilobi House protesters who are still in detention. Also tonight, the Ministry of Education speaks for the very first time on postponement of reopening of universities. Again, I'm Kameni Amano. This is Ghana Tonight. Remember, you can be a part of the program using the hashtag Ghana Tonight as we stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on X. First things first, let's bring you Ghana Brief.
Asante Hinutumfo Seitutu says the nomination of the vice presidential candidate of NPP, Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, does not imply that Mensah Palace supports NPP. He was speaking when the NDC vice presidential candidate, Jane Nano Opoku-Agyeman, called on him at his palace.
NPP for you, Minana, a year President Matthew Napo, and Pastor Minana, no. And no Joseph Yahamatwama MPP and Matwama NDC.
The NPP has appointed my grandchild, Napo. That does not mean I have sold my palace or house to the NPP. I can only render my blessings to you and urge you to work hard with all that you have.
NPP vice presidential candidate Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh has described Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia's bold solutions for the mining sector as a game changer. Addressing the chiefs and people of key mining communities in the Ashanti region, Dr. Opoku-Prempeh emphasized that the NPP's primary objective is always to manage Ghana's mineral resources to benefit the people.
I'm running, sir. Yes, to a good year with you, and I ain't to a good year, I will quiet. You didn't rascal to say the ABC to know. Near Momo Fidia, and say assassin, you 2 years, the BCC assassin. I'm here said to be a dear and no buyer also.
Given the law's strict prohibition on mining in water bodies and forest reserves, we will engage in consultations with the indigents to designate suitable mining areas and provide them with environmentally friendly machinery. This approach will ensure that ecological harm from mining is minimized while sustaining livelihood.
The Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEL, is urging the Electoral Commission to address the concerns of all stakeholders regarding the demand for a forensic audit of the voters' register. Co-chair of CODEL, Elizabeth Joyce-Villas, says this will help boost the confidence and trust in the register and the commission.
We pray that they will stand and, iron this together. The latest I've heard is claims that the registers have been cleaned and is going to be exhibited. What we want to hear is whether this will be acceptable, because now tempers are very high, and if any political party feels strongly about any issue, the important thing is should be listened to, and when it is listened to, should be addressed quickly, so that it doesn't highlight or magnify or amplify anything that will cause any disturbances.
Amnesty International Ghana has expressed concerns over reported violation of human rights of the Democracy Hub protesters by the police. In a letter addressed to the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu-Dampare, the international organization is demanding three things from the police: the total number of individuals arrested as of September 25, 2024, the full names of all arrested persons, and the locations where each of the arrested individuals is currently held. The arrested protesters aimed to demand an end to Galamsey activities in the country and to protest against the poor governance and hardships under the ruling. A coalition of university hall groups across the country have come together to protest the persistent Galamsey illegal mining and its devastating effects on water bodies, as well as the detention of Democracy Hub protesters. The protest, set to take place from October 3 to 5, aims to demand the release of the detained Democracy Hub protesters from the recent Say No to Galamsey demonstration. In a Twitter post, the groups expressed deep concern about the ongoing destruction of water bodies by Galamsey operators, whom they allege are backed by politicians. The coalition also raised concerns about the president's silence in addressing the issue.
Ghana Brief there. Remember, you're live here on Ghana Tonight. I'm Kemeni Amano. Let's get into the very first one around the National Cathedral. Now, project managers have got the all clear. What this means right now. All clear tonight for board members of the National Cathedral project. It gained national attention again after a group of young people went swimming in what was once referred to as the world's most expensive hole. The multi-million edifice, a promise President Akufo-Addo made to God, stalled, leaving behind a gaping hole and a barren land. This raised serious questions about the money sunk into the project. Tonight we are learning accounting firm Deloitte Ghana has cleared the board of any wrongdoing after conducting a statutory audit. The audit covered the period beginning till the end of the year 2020. I want to show you right now aspects of that statement signed by the board chair, Apostle Professor Opoku Onyina. Now, the National Cathedral audit schedule, what we expect. Indeed, what you see on your screen now are aspects of that statement that was signed earlier today. Of course, it details when the audit began and when it expected to end. We also know from the statement that some other audits will follow suit. What has been completed now is the project inception to December 31st, 2020, January 1, 2021 to December 31st, 2021 is also in progress, and the other ones will follow suit as well. I wanted to share with you just a bit more from that statement, if you could see that quickly, because it is there that the board chair writes to, the board chair or the board has been concerned by the length of time it has taken to complete the audit, which formally started in July 2023. However, upon receipt of the first report, we appreciate the meticulous audit processes adopted by Deloitte, including the thorough circularization procedures that involved all parties related to monies received and expenditure on the project. Essentially, this audit looked at the books, the accounts of the project. It says that everything is clear and all right. According to the statement, we also know that the auditors have confirmed and corroborated all receipts and expenditures on the project since its inception by all parties, including the state. The auditors also independently confirmed donations received by the National Cathedral of Ghana nationwide. the auditors also performed the relevant confirmations from all the financial institutions involved in the project. Now, in the presentation and in answers to questions after the presentation, the auditors were categorical that there was no adverse findings and proper books of accounts have been kept and information and explanation provided are in the manner required by the Companies Act 2019-922. Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa is Member of Parliament for the North Tongue constituency. He's led the charge against the construction of the National Cathedral. He's joining us for his perspective on this latest development. Honourable, good evening to you. Deloitte says the project is clean and didn't find any wrongdoing. How does this come to you?
Well, good evening, and good evening to all the viewers of TV3. At this point, it is a statement put out by the National Cathedral Secretariat, signed by the board chair, Apostle Opoku Onyina. They have not published this supposed audit report, which is clearing them. They are an interested party. If they want us to believe what they are putting out, they should publish the full report, unredacted, unedited. Then we can form our own informed position. So that is the first point I want to make. We have not seen this Deloitte audit report. It has not been published. It is the National Cathedral Secretariat putting their own interpretation, claiming that they have been cleared. If indeed they have been cleared, they should publish the full audit. So that's the first point. The second point that has to be made forcefully is that this is just an audit for 1 year, the year ending 31st December 2020. In the National Cathedral Secretariat's own statement, they concede that Deloitte is yet to complete the audit for 2021, for 2022, and for 2023. So there are 3 years outstanding. If you have commissioned an audit into 4 fiscal years, only one is ready, then you proceed to say that because of that you have been cleared. I mean, what is going on? I mean, what kind of logic is this? They should credit the Ghanaian people with some intelligence. Now, the third point, which has to be made very, very emphatically, is that the 2020 audit year covers, if you look at the releases that the finance minister presented to Parliament after we exposed the minister, I intercepted documents that, contrary to claims that they will not be using public funds, I found out, I intercepted documents that on the blind side of Parliament, without parliamentary approval, in flagrant violation of the Ghanaian Constitution, apparently the finance minister was using public funds for this project, contrary to the pledge made to the Ghanaian people, made to the clergy, made to God, and made to Parliament. Now, when we ask for the breakdown of payments, if you analyze that document, which Parliament received on the 21st of November 2022, this audit for 2020 represents a very minute, almost insignificant financial commitment. Because if you look at the analysis of the releases, the breakdown which I have published, by 2020, only $89,000, that is 445,000 cedis, had been released. All the releases, more than 99% of the releases were made in 2021 and 2022.
Right.
And I can give you the breakdown.
Right.
If March 2021,
right. So I mean, so based on what you're saying, it cannot be correct that Deloitte's Ghana could come to the conclusion that in that first year there was no wrongdoing.
So the point that I'm making is that this so-called audit report has to be published. That's the first point. The second point is that if you look at the financials, the actual releases as produced by the finance minister to Parliament, the 2020 period, only about 0.13% of monies released covers that year. More than 99% of the monies are outside 2020. That's 2021, 2022, 2023. And these periods have not yet been audited. And you see, the point also has to be understood that $58 million, is that what it gives us? The world's most expensive pit, which is now a swimming pool. $58 million. I mean, I do not see how any credible audit can tell us that we actually got value for money, and that for $58 million, that is what $58 million does. That pit is equivalent to $58 million.
I see. Based on the statement that Professor Onyina signed, it would appear that he claims that when Deloitte went through their books, monies that were paid went to the right places, and whatever was supposed to be delivered was also done.
That is Professor Onyina's claim. We haven't seen the audit. We challenge them to publish the full audit report. Let us see how the auditors came to the conclusion that everything is above board, that a project which did not receive parliamentary approval is clean, is credible. When the constitution is clear, you cannot use public funds without parliamentary approval. Let us see that audit. They should publish that audit. I want to see how auditors will say that the diversions that took place to somebody like Carrie Summers, who is keeping her $6 million in the United States of America, that is an above-board conduct. The double identity scam, which the Human Rights Court has described as criminal, all of those conducts by key actors of this National Cathedral Board, that all of that is above board. We want to see the evidence. The BPA's response to my ITI request that this project did not receive procurement approval. All of these scandals, all of these breaches of our financial laws, the Public Financial Management Act, we want to see that audit. So we want to see the full audit,
right,
covering the entire period from not only 2020, which represents 0.13% of monies released. We want to see the entire period from 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and 2024. They are still receiving salary for no work done. Let's have the full audit report, a comprehensive, credible report. Let it be published. Let us all analyze the report.
Indeed.
Not interpretations, not propaganda statements input out by interested parties.
Indeed, Honorable, just before I let you go, the statement also tells us that the audit was the only reason the project was not going on. So right now that the first phase of the audit has been concluded, the project will resume soon. What do you make of that?
Again, another false claim. And you see, the folks at the National Cathedral should remember that this is the Lord's project. It was supposed to be a project to glorify God. And yet, right from the inception, they told us they will not use public funds. They ended up using public funds on our blind side. I mean, the levels of deception, the dishonesty, it is totally unholy. It is unchristian. It is unbiblical, and they have to stop it. This project came to a standstill because we exposed them. I intercepted documents that they were lying to us all along. And because we exposed them and we made it clear that they cannot continue lying to us, withdrawing public funds without parliamentary approval. And then when they attempted, you remember, a parliamentary approval, Parliament rejected that they have not treated Parliament fairly. The people of Ghana have not been treated fairly. They have violated our laws violently, flagrantly. So we will not approve that request. And since then, the project stalled. That is the true account of the situation. It is not because there was some audit that is why the project stopped. They don't have the funds, the donors have backed out, and there is no room for them to continue their illegal withdrawal from the consolidated fund. That is what stalls the project.
I see.
You see, they should stop peddling lies upon lies upon lies from the pit of hell. They should stop it. Should this project be allowed to resume? Look, this project is going nowhere. This project is dead. They should all these claims that it is going to resume where? With what money? This is a discredited project. All donors have left. They can no longer illegally withdraw money. This project is dead. The contractors have left the country. There's nothing going to happen. They should stop the deception. It's just grand deception that they are continuing, and they will be exposed. This project cannot resume. Mark my words. Indeed. They will be exposed. Indeed, Honorable, I'm grateful for your time here. Thank you so much. Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa is not Tongu MP. We've been talking about the National Cathedral project and the latest development around this project. The board chair for the Secretariat has indicated that Deloitte Ghana has absolved them of any wrongdoing. But, you know, as you heard from the Honorable Member of Parliament, it is impossible because the year under review is only a fraction of the monies expended on this, particularly also because monies were expended without parliamentary approval. We'll follow the story and bring you updates in subsequent broadcasts. You're still here on Ghana Tonight. Let's talk about Labour now. Now, Labour means business, and tonight they are asking government to meet their demands on ending Galamsey or face their wrath. I'll tell you more right now. Tonight, a meeting between government's ad hoc committee on Galamsey and the Trades Union Congress ended without resolution. TUC had given government a week's ultimatum to ban all forms of mining and declare a state of emergency in Galamsey-ravaged communities. In a meeting with the Kandapar-led committee, organized labor leadership stood their grounds, made fresh new demands on government. Deputy Secretary General of the Ghana Federation of Labour, Kenneth Kumsin, is joining me for a quick conversation on the back of this. Good evening, Mr. Kumsin. It's good to have you here on Ghana Tonight. This meeting we talk about, we also know ended inconclusively. Why was that the case?
Well, thank you very much. I think it's important that we establish clearly the background to this letter issued by organized labor. As you may be aware, the Forestry Commission issued a letter or indicated through a report that our forest reserve is depleted. About 2.5 million hectares of our forest reserve is vandalized, decimated, and for which reason it becomes concern for biodiversity, human existence, and also what you consider as what they call globally significant forest cover, which has implication for you and I. Again, on the 30th of August, you had the Ghana Water Company also issued a very threatening letter where they said the turbidity unit or levels of our water body is quite, a concern, which requires some urgent steps to be taken by government. Further also indicated that if steps are not taken, Cape Coast, Elmina and environs would have issues with water supply because the treatment plant could not treat the water due to the level of poisoning or pollution of the water body. Organized labor felt strongly that we should wade into the campaign, the advocacy. And so on the 11th of September, we met and issued a letter demanding, among others, that government invoke Article 31, which is a state of emergency, at the areas where the forest is being vandalized and also water bodies that is being destroyed by Galamsey or illegal mines. We also indicated that by the end of September, if government fails to take steps to reverse these dangerous trend, organized labor will have no other choice than to go on demonstration or, if you like, strike. 3 days after, 13th of September, government responded and invited leadership, organized labor, to attend the meeting. We met and decided that, look, it was important that we give government a listening ear. In the meeting, we resolved that it's important that government take steps to address the demands. Government gave us 1 week, and that 1 week expired on the 24th of September. Today, as we speak, we have never heard from government as to whether the demands that was put out there will be met or steps have been taken to address these demands. So we decided that coming Tuesday, that is on the 1st of October, organized labor is meeting to review our decision and also take steps to implement the demands that we put out there clearly, which is if government fails to address those issues, then we have no other choice than to embark on a series of demonstration or, if you like, strike action. So that is where we stand now.
I see. I mean, but in that meeting with government, let's go back to that meeting and how it went. You made your demands known to government. What was government position in that meeting?
So clearly, government recognized that the forest reserves is a no-go area, that there are statutes, there are laws that prohibit or prescribe any form of mining activity in the forest reserve and water body. These are prohibited forms of mining. So government recognizes that it's a no-go area. Number two, government also recognizes that it's important that drastic measures are taken in order to protect our water body. So we said, we are giving government, we indicated clearly that if government recognizes that we face an existential threat, then it's important that government take steps to look at the demands on the table. They agreed that it is the way to go. But what government requested, I remember clearly on that day, is that there have been other civil society organizations, for instance, the Ghana Coalition Against Galamsey and other organizations that have equally made demands. So government requested that they needed to meet these organizations before they revert within the week.
And that week you told us has expired. My question then is, what is your interpretation of government silence to you?
Well, we are not, there's no interpretation. What we said was that we gave 30th of September as the deadline. Today is 27th of September, which means that by Monday, that 30th is exhausted. So that is why we are meeting on the 1st of October, which is Tuesday, to decide on the way forward.
Indeed, and we'll follow up on that, meeting as well. Thank you so much, Kenneth, for talking to us. Kenneth Kumsin there. He is with the TUC. You're still here on Ghana Tonight. There's still a couple more things we want to discuss, because tonight we'll do a quick check on Democracy Hub protesters in light of new police information. Remember that all 54 of them have been arraigned and are behind bars. Listen, it has been at least 4 days since the police rounded up protesters marching against illegal and unethical mining in this country. According to the police, all 54 who were arrested have been arraigned and now remanded in police and prison custody. The welfare of the detained Democracy Hub protesters has come under sharp scrutiny, including a female suspect reported as pregnant. In a recent release, however, from the police, they debunked any assertions the female in question was pregnant, pointing to a test they had conducted on the suspect. Now, tonight, we'll do a quick check on developments around these protesters. I'll be joined shortly by a lawyer or a member of Lawyers for Protest Defense in this country. He's working closely with the protesters who are behind bars. But I want to show you some of the things the police have spoken about so far in that statement they released. 54 persons arrested and arraigned. The suspect, Gloria Vera Louise, is not pregnant, as claimed on social media. 50-year-old protester Grace Santoa is charged with the offense of exposing a child to danger. And then a couple more, just before we get into that conversation. The police administration has directed the Police Professional Standards Bureau to investigate the circumstances under which 2 of the suspects were kept in police custody beyond 48 hours without being sent to court for necessary disciplinary action to be taken against them. So that's the crux of that police statement in reference to these protesters who were rounded up, subsequently arraigned, and are now in police and prison custody, depending on which court you went to. Now, Noah Adamte is a member of Lawyers for Protest Defense, a group of lawyers offering legal services to these protesters who were arrested by the police. Noah, good evening to you. Many thanks for joining us here. It's been at least 4 days for some of them, 5 for others. Talk to us about the latest development as far as these clients of yours are concerned.
I think the latest development since yesterday, when the last batch of persons were arraigned before the court, is that lawyers and families of these persons are still trying all their best to locate the whereabouts of the protesters after they were remanded to police and prison custody. As we speak, we have been able to collate the names of those who were sent to Nsawam prison to be held until 8th October. But for those who were to be held at the various police stations in Accra, it has become a challenge locating some of them. This is especially because the tactic deployed by the police is that when a person is in a specific cell at a police station and is brought before the courts, when a person is remanded, he or she is not taken to that same police station again. So if the person was at the Achimota police station cell, after court, the person might be taken to the cantonment police station. So if we had not that the person was at Achimota, when you go to Achimota after court, the person would not be there. So you spend a day or two looking for the next region where the person may have been.
I mean, Noah, is this normal police behavior when it comes to suspects who are on remand?
I would say it is not normal at all. This is the first time I am experiencing a situation where an accused person held by the police in custody is transferred or is moved around just whenever the police wants to do that, especially without informing the relatives or anyone who is closely associated with the accused person. There are people who have been transferred to 3 or 4 different police stations in the space of 2 days. So on one day, the person is at police station A. In the evening of that day, the person is moved, taken to a different police station. The next morning, the person is in a different police station. So it's a very strange thing that we are seeing this time around with how the police is treating the arrested protesters.
I see. The police in their own statement are now admitting that some of the suspects, in fact, only 2 of the suspects were kept beyond 48 hours without being arraigned, and they have instituted an investigation into the conduct of the officers involved. Is this the true picture as far as you're concerned?
Oh yeah, so I think earlier, myself and a few other lawyers who have had a chance to speak to the media had intimated that the police had breached the 48-hour rule in relation to some of the protesters. And you see, the police and the Office of the Attorney General may attempt to justify it on the grounds that it's an issue with documentation as they were trying to process these persons for court. But it is not true, and it's not an explanation that we should take from the state and its agencies. This is because most of the protesters were arrested on Sunday, and some were arrested on Monday. There is only one person, that is Benjamin Ekufudago, who was arrested on Tuesday when he had gone to visit Oliver Bakavomawo at the police hospital. So under the law, you have 48 hours within which to arraign these people. Between Sunday and Tuesday, the police could have arraigned these people in court at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. in the morning. But because of a deliberate attempt to exhaust all the 48 hours guaranteed them under the Constitution, in order to exhaust it, they waited till around 1 p.m., 2 p.m. before they arraigned the people before court, so as to exhaust the 48 hours to cause the people as much inconvenience as they can. And we see the same thing done with those who were arrested on Monday. They could have been brought to court together with those who were presented on Tuesday. But no, the state did not do that. They kept them in custody and arraigned them only on Wednesday, so as to exhaust the 48 hours. So it is through these tactics that they forgot that there were some specific persons who had to be in a particular group, and because of the attempt to inconvenience them for as much time as they can, those people slipped through their hands and they ended up breaching 48-hour rule.
I mean, when you read the police statement, it would appear that the police is suggesting that the protesters are exaggerating the circumstances surrounding their arrest and remand, using the example of a female suspect who was said to be pregnant. They say they conducted a test. She's not pregnant. Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so that whole idea that the protesters are exaggerating their conditions is one that I find it a very sorry take to be coming from the police and the state. Let's look at the woman who said she was pregnant. Now, upon her arrest, she was refused the right to have conference with her lawyers. Her family wasn't given access to the accused person. The accused person informed the police that she was pregnant. Now the question is, what should the police have done at the moment they got to know the woman had said she was pregnant? She was arrested on Sunday. The police could have conducted a test when she said she was pregnant. They didn't do that. They could have conducted a test on Monday. They didn't do that. They brought her to court on Tuesday. They didn't do that. They didn't also inform the court that the woman was pregnant. They did none of that. When they knew that lawyers for the woman had not had a conference with her to even know her condition, they only decided to conduct a test they are now making known to the public they've conducted when the woman bled at the police station and there was outcry from her relatives and some persons on social media. Then the police came back the next day to inform us that the woman that we said was pregnant wasn't pregnant, and they had conducted their own test at the police station, at the police hospital, and another independent facility. We demand that the police should provide a report from these places to the family and then the lawyers of the woman.
I see.
But aside that, we cannot trust what is even coming from the police, for these are persons who have lied in so many ways concerning how they are treating the people in the cells. So we also want to conduct our test.
Very well. Noah,
or not the woman is like.
Indeed. Noah, quickly tell me, we know that some efforts were, made towards the High Court to ensure that the actions of the lower court is quashed. What's the latest on that?
Yes, so some of those processes, I am informed, have been filed. And so we are yet to get a date to appear before the High Court.
Indeed.
Yes, so I'm hoping that next week we will get a date and appear before the High Court.
We'll keep an eye on this story. Thank you so much, Noah, for talking to us. Noah Adamte is one of many lawyers who are representing these protesters in court. You're still live here on Ghana Tonight. I'm Kemeni Amano. Remember, you can be part of our conversation as we stream on Facebook, YouTube, and on X. Use the hashtag Ghana Tonight so that it will be easier for us to find your comments, questions, or thoughts on our program tonight. But I'll tell you what, at least 4 universities have postponed reopening dates due to ongoing multiple union strike actions. Tonight, the Education Ministry is speaking for the first time. I'll tell you more about that when I return. Don't go away.
Uplifting women. Phoenix Club. Uplifting women. Phoenix Club. Uplifting women. Thank you very much for having me here today. The nation builder John Mahama and Professor Nana Jane are bringing you the Women's Development Bank. Whoa. It is a very special bank run by only women, to serve only women. The aim is to empower millions of women across the country. The bank will have branches all over the nation to provide you with loans with very low interest and on very flexible terms.
Madam, I run a small makeup and nail bar. Do I qualify for a loan?
No need to bother, my sister. I mean hairdressers, market women, women-owned online businesses, female graduates, women in the corporate world, traders, agri, women in all fields qualify for loans. With John Mahama and Professor Nana Jane at the helm, the Ghanaian woman will surely rise.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
Luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get back packing from your one line. Hey, wait.
You can put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. We'll build radio. We are star 712. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let's choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now we try you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. That's it. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
never. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Choose the perfect prize every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes. All to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
Yo, Jay. What is this? Why, you go write emails or something?
Charlie, the bills and taxes are for paying. That's why they write plenty like that too. The movement from taxation to production, it make beans.
You read the NDC manifesto I send you. That's why you the hustle. Your mama say when he come power, he go exempt micro and small businesses from paying VAT. He also go give 2-year tax holiday to new businesses. So say them go first stand them and let talk and grow better before them go start they pay corporate and personal income tax.
Charlie, that they go for me. Oh. Now I make my mind say I no go vote. But this one, dear, if I change my mind, then go vote give John Mahama.
That no be all. He also go scrap e-levy, COVID tax, emission tax, and the 10% betting tax. No.
It don't be. The e-levies have the cheapest.
Swear.
I like the tax wrong with you. Charlie, Kwanzaa, what else Mahama talk?
If I talk you everything today, what else I will talk you tomorrow?
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC. 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, 1 bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
75 days since the last day of last season. We are ready to do it all again. Phil Foden is having the season of his life. Brilliant! Just brilliant! That is quite something!
Watch all the Premier League, La Liga, and Serie A games on DSTV Compact for only 300 cedis a month.
Choose the perfect prize for you every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes, all to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
And 40 Ghana. Hey, they can contain your 40 to 50 pesos and not 20 Ghana. And at dancing, or look at 30 Ghana. Aday, on my bay money away.
Oh, so Casa, me show Dean. Sha, Docura me 20 Ghana. Ah, me pay for me 15 Ghana cedi a day. On my benny a woman, ya call ya not your sabai.
Sha, and yet Diane Bonkuan and Kosuru. John Dramani Mahama time. Smith 1 bag. Near 24 Ghana cedis. Men to Smith 1 bagger. Yes, say a 108 cedis. I don't know what you're better saying. It is to say, who see Diana? Say, and I'll be say, John Dramani Mahama Mama Gia. Yabewo, Yana Bibian from Wakombe Queen, or come in the end Queen. You better fire 1 pa. No people are buying. What dear more Ankasa, media minimum how. No media. Measure my system, number 12. And yes, I need dear. A year kufu adonini baumia. Nyamia domine said December 7. Dura. You be true, Master said you to buy. You be true, Ankasa.
She was sitting no to abapa. A dinsa cry papa beba wa brabum. To Abama John Mahamani NDC.
Welcome back. Remember, you're live on Ghana Tonight. We are coming to you from our news hub here at Adisawe in Kanda. Now, students of at least 4 public universities will not return to school anytime soon. Management of these public institutions of higher education have postponed reopening indefinitely. The schools are faced with multiple strike actions from aggrieved teaching and non-teaching staff unions. These unions are let's start off with the schools that are impacted by the industrial action. We know that the University of Ghana, University of Media, Arts and Communication, University of Development Studies, the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology also. The unions that are on strike include the Ghana Association of University Administrators, Senior Staff Association, University of Ghana, Teachers and Educational Workers Union of the Trades Union Congress. What are their concerns? Their concerns include delayed pension contribution, non-payment of vehicle maintenance allowances, suspension of certain agreed upon benefits. Remember the schools: University of Ghana, UNIMAC, UDS, University of Education. Very well. Now, I want to bring you more on this story. So let's take this development to the Education Ministry. Kwesi Kwarteng is the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education. And he's entering the chat with us tonight to tell us a bit more about this development. Good evening, Kwesi. It appears university education may be on hold for some students at this point. How does this come to the ministry?
For us in the Ministry of Education,
The strike action just came to our attention. And for instance, I just spoke to the Minister for Education, who assured that there has been steps taken to quickly meet the parties involved in the strike, hopefully next week. So I'm very sure that by next week, government side will meet the striking parties and make sure that they resolve all outstanding issues. I mean, clearly, some of these labor unrest and labor issues is a bit inevitable. Of course, I mean, to a larger extent, we are getting closer to elections, and it's only natural that, I mean, labor will also want to press government in critical times like this to get what they really want. But of course, for us within the government, particularly the Ministry of Education, we are very open, more than open, to be able to, and willing, that we are willing to engage them. And hopefully next week, as we engage them, we should get a very favorable outcome so far as calling off the strike is concerned.
Indeed. But when you listen to these unions, they say that government has failed to meet their demands, and in some cases, past resolutions have not been met. Why is that the case?
I'm not sure I'm in the right position to comment or maybe address their concerns, but ultimately leadership will surely have to meet them. I mean, whichever way, parties may have their own positions, whether government side or even labor. Sometimes some of these positions and expectations will be unmet. I mean, I don't think for me it is my duty to comment on, I mean, whether or not the concerns that has been raised are valid or not. What I can say is that government is willing and will proceed to meet with labor, particularly these striking unions, to make sure that they resolve any impasse. For us, within the Ministry of Education, that is the most crucial thing, and that is the most important. If you want to go into it, what essentially we will be doing is to be discussing unions, conditions of service, and claims on TV or radio. And I'm not sure the unions will even love that. Of course, they made their concerns very known. I am also aware, and I've been briefed that, I mean, government had engaged them up to this extent. But of course, I mean, just like you may have in, I mean, all labor issues, there are certain instances where expectations may not be met. There are also certain instances where, I mean, parties may also hold on to a certain position.
Indeed. So what happens to student education if government is unable to get the unions to return to work?
I mean, it all takes leadership. Whichever way, parties will sit and negotiate. Parties will sit and talk. I am not really sure when you are going into a negotiation or conversation to resolve an impasse, any of the parties should have a fixed position. I'm so confident that government, after meeting them next week, should be able to make progress. I do not subscribe to the view that the labor unions and the associations are not willing to work. So what I subscribe to is that they may have legitimate concerns.
Indeed.
The government is willing to meet them, if not fully, of course, within, I mean, some halfway. And
indeed, Kwesi, we'll end our conversation here, but congratulations also on passing your bar exams. Kwesi Kwating is PRO for the Ministry of Education. This is a story we'll also keep an eye on. I was telling you earlier about the University of Education, Winneba. It is that university and the University of Cape Coast are only the two we haven't heard from as far as their reopening date is concerned. But I want us to turn attention to another matter of concern. And remember that we are your election command center. or perhaps we'll get right onto it. I was hoping that something was going to roll. It didn't. So let's move on, right? We're out of time anyway. So let's bring in Kofi Akpaloo, who is leader and flag bearer of the Liberal Party of Ghana. He is number 5 on the ballot paper. What we want to do is give everybody the opportunity to speak to the Ghanaian people. Hopefully, their voters are listening. Kofi, good evening to you. I know you have been waiting, and thank you so much for your patience.
Oh, good evening, my dear.
I see. How's the campaign going for you after picking number 5 after the ballot order exercise?
Oh, it's going very, very well. It's going very, very well. At the moment, we've divided ourselves into groups, and we are all going into the country, talking to people about reasons why they should vote for LPG. So it's going very well. The reception is very good too.
I see. So what's the message you're sending out so that they are convinced that you are the best man for the job?
Oh, actually, we are promising Ghanaians that in government, LPG is going to introduce child benefits and unemployment benefit payment. So every child below 18 years will receive a monthly stipend of 500 cedis, and those above 18 unemployed will also receive 700 Ghana cedis every month. This is to stimulate the economy to generate demand activities.
I see. You are already stoking interest with that. But Kofi, have you launched this manifesto like the other parties have done, or you have a different strategy?
Oh, we did the launch last Saturday at home with last senior high school, and it was massive.
It was massive, was it?
Yeah.
What were some of the things that the voters were telling you, as far as that manifesto was concerned? Kofi, you didn't invite us. Let me add also.
Oh, we invited all the media houses, except that TV3 decided to opt.
Oh, that cannot be right. We never do that. Your invitation didn't reach us, and that is why I was first to point that out. But let's talk about your voters. You said it was a massive event. What was the feedback from your voters?
They were so happy that we chose Voter Region to launch our manifesto. They were so happy, and it's like everybody felt part, and also. After listening to the messages, they realized that that is the way forward, especially setting up a $10 billion job fund to give hope to the young people to kickstart their own businesses. It's like the message is so relevant to them at this point in time, and they embrace it. So everybody is happy, and also we're promising them that we're going to guarantee loans for them to borrow from the commercial market and to start their own businesses. It's all about jobs. So our manifesto, the theme for the manifesto is a better tomorrow, a new plan for jobs and wealth creation.
Well, Kofi, who's your running mate?
Oh, Elizabeth Sam, Madam Sam.
Was she adored at the manifesto launch?
Yes, we adore her.
Tell us about this running mate.
She's 46 years, a married woman with 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. And also she's married to Mr. Ofosu Krantin, who is a medical doctor and also a pastor, a reverend pastor, a reverend minister. And and she is into security services.
I see. Kofi, the last one. At the ballot order exercise, it is believed that you exchange your number 1 slot with the NPP. Is that true?
It can never be true. That is the biggest lie that has ever happened in this country. How can that be so? Everybody is looking to be number 1 on the ballot. And if I've been given that, why should I exchange it? What at all am I exchanging it for?
Very well.
Yeah. I got number 5. And the number 5, it was a lotto number the same day.
I see. What is the LPG's position on the debate around the credibility of the voter register?
You see, so far as we have minors on the register, we cannot say it's credible. So far as both MPP and NDC have done transfers to places where the people that they've transferred are not registered, or they are not coming from that community, they've never lived in that community, they don't hail from those communities. I mean, it doesn't make the register credible, because both parties try to outdo each other, trying to win seats, trying to make people vote for people. I mean, which is strong. Both MPP and NDC have been doing this, they find themselves in this, and it's not right that they keep on doing this and then they turn around making noise. It's not right, because you can't decide an MP for a constituency where those people don't live there. They should allow the people in those constituencies to select their own MPs to run their affairs. But if you transfer people from places to other places just to outnumber the people there, is
Kofi, does it mean that you support calls for an external audit of the register as it is now?
The external audit will not do anything, but what can be done and done appropriately is that EC should annul all transfers done this year. We should annul every single transfer and then allow the voter register to stay as it was the beginning of the year.
Indeed. Kofi, we wish you the very best. Thank you so much for talking to us. Kofi Akpalu is leader and flag bearer of the Liberal Party of Ghana. Speaking of the Electoral Commission, at 2 p.m. on Sunday, I sit with Deputy Chairperson in charge of Corporate Services, Dr. Eric Bosman, as we discuss the electoral roll, the voter register that is, and issues that have come up regarding our elections this year. But at 7 a.m. tomorrow, join Alfred Okanse and his team of panelists as they dissect issues of topical national importance throughout the week. I'm Kemeni Amano. Always a delight coming your way. Have a good night.
Ghana Tonight is brought to you by Flamingo Paint. Superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage, simply superior.